Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
What's up guys, my name is Uncle Sales and here's an experience I've never shared before, which is my first time going to a beach. So considering that I don't live in Lagos, the reason for me not ever being to a beach was not far-fetched. And so as soon as I found myself in Lagos, I made sure I ticked it off my bucket list. And so on that fateful afternoon, I booked a ride from my hotel, which was located at Surulere, to the beach, which I think is located at Aja. It was a pretty long drive from the mainland to the island, but I wasn't bothered one bit. As a matter of fact, I was enjoying the ride. I was also excited at the same time. The kind of excitement I get when I'm traveling to somewhere for the first time, or I'm about to do something for the first time. I'm sure travel enthusiasts can relate to this. For instance, seeing this legendary cathedral church was very satisfying to me. This church is over 100 years old, by the way, and is still looking as beautiful as ever. So I finally arrived at the beach resort and I paid an access fee of 2,000 naira only to gain entrance. This beach is called Atican Beach. The space within the compound was quite massive, which gives a lot of space for people to park their cars. And I think they also have rooms for lodging, though I'm not so sure. And when I got down here, I was like, wow! So this is reality right now, and I'm looking at the freaking ocean! Now I've ticked this off my bucket list, and next on my bucket list will be to sail across the ocean. Because I've always fantasized about what it will feel like to look out from the deck of a ship in the middle of the ocean. Meanwhile, there are a lot of activities to do there at the beach. Some people play volleyball, some people ride quad bikes, some people ride horses, while some people just sit under the canopy, eat meat, drink, and just chill and laugh with friends. I decided to check out the horse, and this guy deceived me. He told me it was 3k for a ride, so I hopped on the horse and I rode around, only for me to finish and this guy said his bill was 18k. I was like, what the f***? You told me it was 3k. And he said, yeah, it was 3k for just one ride, but I did 6 rides, so it's 18k. But after so many back and forth, I eventually paid him 10k sha. Thank you. So I left the beach and came to Idumota to buy 1 or 2 things from the local market. And I was walking around the street and oh boy, everywhere was so crowded. There were literally thousands of people on the streets. And I was like, where the hell are all these people going to? It was so crazy, man. And that's that for the day. Lagos is actually a nice and exciting place. I'm pretty sure I'll come back once more to enjoy some of the things I didn't enjoy on my last visit. And so at the end of my stay in Lagos, I booked a ride to the airport to catch a flight back to Abuja. The flight was scheduled for 5:45 p.m. So I made sure I went very early to the airport, at least 1 hour before the flight time, because it was my first time flying from Lagos, and as a first-timer, I didn't want to hear stories. No doubt, every Nigerian must have heard about Lagos traffic, and I didn't want to hear that I spent hours in traffic and then missed my flight. When we arrived at the airport, I was welcomed by this man. I don't know who he is. He even offered to carry my bag, but I refused. But anyways, he directed me to the point where I could get my ticket. So I got my ticket and headed to the waiting area to wait for my flight. But unfortunately, our flight got delayed by 1 hour, so we had to sit for an extra hour to wait for our flight. After sitting and waiting for an extra hour, it was finally time for boarding. So we headed towards the boarding area and boarded our flight. I got the window seat, which is my favorite, so that I can get to look out the window and see the sky. We arrived at Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport very late at night, so I booked a ride and went back home to call it a night.